Honestly, this year has been pretty exhausting, at least for me. I've never really done these year recaps or all these things I've learned in this year or what goals I accomplished or anything else. I somehow never really thought of doing these things. So I decided to write 22 things I've learned this year. And it was hard. It was hard to really think of what have I actually learned, but I managed to think of something. Anyway, I always forget to introduce myself. So, hi, I'm Elysiane. I'm an artist, also a tattoo artist, and I just like talking. First thing, people don't care as much as you think they do. Honestly, I understood the basic meaning of it, but I never understood it in work. I really started just posting recently on social media, more actively, and I realized how much people don't actually care. And I used to be like, if I'll post something, I'll get a lot of judgment. Actually, you don't get that much judgment. There's actually a lot of support out there from people. I'm getting older. Sometimes I think I'm stuck in high school and I feel like I'm never gonna get older. But I realized I'm getting older because I recently started to understand why my mental health and body is declining. It was because of gluten sensitivity. So I feel like I'm getting older because I start to get these issues and I'm just 22. You don't always need to have an excuse for why you didn't do or go somewhere. I was, and I think I'm still a people pleaser. I used to be feeling like crap and still going to places because a person asked me to join, even though I really didn't want to. Who cares if I'm not there? I'm learning to put my own mental health first. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it or go anywhere. My mental health is more important than holding a friendship. I recently had this really I'd say, relationship with a friend, just a friendship, simply put. And it started to get pretty toxic, more like it took a toll on my own well-being. I simply told the person I don't want to be friends with them anymore. I just felt horrible anytime I was communicating with them. In general, nobody should hold a friendship just because they've been friends for a long time or, I don't know, some sentiment, I guess. I'm learning to, it doesn't matter how long of a friendship you have. Just leave if you feel horrible communicating with the person. I don't have to listen to trauma dumping because it's disrespectful not to. I think I've had so many people trauma dump on me, all of their problems, and I've previously mentioned to people oh, maybe you should, get help because I'm not a therapist. I can't really help you that much, and I feel horrible right now myself. And I've been told, oh my god, you're so rude. I don't think you're rude for saying how you feel. You don't have to listen to trauma dump. What good does it do to any of you? Well, yeah, one person dumps all of their trauma, and I don't think anybody should trauma dump on anybody. You should still ask oh, can I speak to you about my issues? It's kind of pretty much also a consent, I guess. Because you don't know what does the other person feel like once you decide to dump everything on them. I guess that's maybe why I don't really have that many friends. I'd say I don't really have friends at all because I'm pretty careful with my friendships and who I'm friends with, because I want my friendships to be healthy so I don't feel horrible after I've been out with my friend. Motivation doesn't grow on trees. I've learned this, I guess, through art, because I always told myself, oh, I need motivation to create something beautiful. And usually I just created something once a year because I had motivation out of the blue once a year. Now what I do is I create my motivation. It's either by actually taking action, starting to draw, or by getting inspired before, by scrolling through Pinterest or anything that inspires me. I don't think there's such a thing as motivation and then work. Maybe if you get inspired before, yes. But also inspiration doesn't come out of nowhere. I guess I learned to put in work first, like at least get the ball rolling, and I'll get the motivation along the way. My ego isn't supposed to rule my life. I learned this from a book, A New Earth, I think. Yes. The book really showed me that we have our own ego controlling what we do, what we don't do in our lives. I think ego in general is a tricky thing, because I believe there's no such a thing also as ego death. Not really related, but still. You might get rid of one ego, but you'll get another ego, and that all you can do to gain control of your life is by noticing where the ego comes in place and where it starts to be like me. It's more like being self-aware of what you do in your life and what you haven't done, what you would do, and so on. About being present also. There is no such magical moment that changes your life. You just made a decision. This is my opinion. Maybe some people do have magical moments. Maybe it's just me. But I haven't had these movie-like moments where all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I understood why I did this. I'm never gonna go back to those things ever again. No, it's actually just I make a decision, and at some point I still slack off, but I make a decision again to go back and just do what I'm supposed to do. I haven't had a magical moment. All these motivational speakers speak about make it look like there is a magical moment, but I think there isn't. It's just about your decisions, I think. Future hasn't happened yet. I have a lot of anxiety on daily basis, I think. Sometimes I don't, but mostly I do have anxiety every day about something, about little things or anything. Sometimes I can get stuck in my own head thinking about my future and what I could do and what I don't want to happen to me. And will it happen? Will I succeed? Will I fail? But in reality, it doesn't really matter because those outcomes haven't happened yet. So I end up being stressed for nothing about non-existent things. Future hasn't happened yet. People will find a way to judge anyway. At this point, it doesn't matter. You can do completely nothing, and you can do everything in your power to be great in life and be the best person you are, but people still won't like something about you. Because most likely they don't like something about themselves. I think it's called projection. They're just projecting their negativity that's towards themselves on you. I watched this reality TV, a local one, and people judged the way this reality TV star was raising their kids, and I thought, what if the crew went and filmed anybody else's family life? I think we would see the same thing. It's just that we see it right there on the screen, how she treats her children and what she says to her children. We love to judge, even though I think there are families who do even worse things. Masking negative with positive doesn't make the pain go away. I guess this is also related to my people pleasing, because I used to put on this mask that I'm such a happy person and just look always like I'm doing just fine. Then I still notice people think I'm doing always perfectly fine, but I guess sometimes I still put on the mask that everything is okay. I think a lot of us do that because sometimes we just don't want to be asked what's up with us. And this is also relating to toxic positivity, where you are feeling completely horrible. You don't want to get out of bed. You really feel depressed and masking it with, oh, the day's great, look how great the weather is outside. There's no reason for you to be depressed. Like, you're happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. I don't have any worries, I don't have any worries. It makes me more depressed. I think it does make anybody hide and just collect more and more until the dam breaks and you're just flooded with all of this negative energy that you've been holding in yourself. I think this one is the biggest thing I've learned this year. It's looking at what's done, not what's said. I've seen way too many people speak more than they do, so now I've learned to just take words with a grain of salt. Sure, thanks, you told me, but I want to see some action. I no longer believe words much. If you tell me a story, I might believe it, but if you talk about what you want to do and what you will do, it doesn't matter. Actions. I just look at those. If I see that you've done what you said, I'll even trust you more because you did it. You didn't say you will, but you actually did. You can be self-focused and care for others at the same time. That's a big problem. People saying that, oh, you're selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm self-focused. There's a big difference. For a selfish person, it doesn't matter. They always will put themselves first. It doesn't matter whether the other person is hurt at the end or not. For a self-focused person, they don't do selfish actions where they hurt other people for their own gain. For example, I just choose whether I want to go somewhere with a person or not, or I choose whether I want to be with that person friends again. It's not selfish, it's just I'm making decisions that I think are good for me. I care more of my own opinion of myself more than I care about your opinion of me. Selfish people are just cruel, in my opinion. Honesty gets rid of false friends. I've always been a pretty honest person, but this year I've really looked at how people treat honesty. Sometimes people don't want to hear honesty. It doesn't matter how nicely or brutally you speak your truth. Some people just don't want to hear it. And I've witnessed some of those people, and I'm happy that I'm not friends with people who would lie to me to, in a weird way, make me feel good. But I don't see the point of lying. You have your own head to think. Sometimes we all take somebody else's opinion and run with it. Sometimes it's okay. That's what we people do. We run off other people's opinions. But sometimes it gets worse because we run with it word for word. We take opinion of a pretty popular person and run with it without even thinking twice. Sometimes we trust other people's opinions too much, I think. I'm guilty of that too. You can't help a person if they don't want to be helped. Sometimes people are blind, and a lot of times they don't see the world the way you see it. So they might haven't realized exactly what you have realized before, because we are our own individual personality person. We're just an individual, and we learn things in our own time, and there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to really try to help a person if they clearly don't want to be helped. I've wanted to help so many people, but it never worked. It only drained my own energy and it got nowhere. They still stayed the same person. It was their choice to stay that way. You can help a person with a simple advice, but it's their choice whether they want to take your advice or not. Nobody should be pressured into receiving specifically your help. They can choose whether they want to get help from you or not. And I think it's for your own mental health, your own good, because it's draining to help a person who doesn't want to be helped. This one is very close to my heart. Just because you don't have friends now doesn't mean you're a lost cause. I, not even that long ago, thought that I'm really a lost cause because I don't know how to make friends. I don't really have friends. I have other people's friends, but I wouldn't really hang out with them without that specific person because it's their friends, you know? I just realized that I might as well like to be alone a lot, and at some point friends will come. They will come around and you'll make friends. You don't need to push yourself to get into these situations where you have to make friends because you feel lonely, because movies have made you feel like if you don't have this friend group of like 3+ friends, or at least 2 friends, best friends, you have failed. And also, at least I avoid horrible friendships because I no longer search for friends desperately, because I used to do that because I thought it's not normal to have no friends. But believe me, you will find a friend, at least one. I'm just 22, but it doesn't mean I'm done for it. Like, I'm not gonna have any friends in my life. And also, I don't really feel like having friends right now. They do take attention like a relationship. Obviously, it's like a relationship between friends. I don't have the attention for them. So don't feel horrible for not having friends right now. It doesn't matter how old you are. Because for me at least, it does not work going to clubs, some social gatherings, something where you actually just have to like stand there and speak to people. For me, it doesn't work that way. I haven't really tried this other thing where you actually go and you have like team activities with people. I haven't really tried that. I'm lazy. I will try that at some point because in my opinion that would make me more outgoing, because we are doing something together, not just like having a small talk with a random person somewhere. That's boring to me. I rather see how you work in a team. Less thinking, more doing. This has helped me way too much. Sometimes the less I think, the more I do. I don't even want to think about what I have to do. I just leave it be and I look at it and just go straight to work. I don't even let myself overthink it. Oh, will this go okay? Oh, will this turn out good? Especially about social media. I don't want to overthink it because I always hate everything that I overthink. Especially artwork. When I do art, sometimes I overthink a piece. I overanalyze it and I end up actually hating it and never finishing it. I even have pieces, even right now, that I haven't finished because I overthought them too much. This is a random point, but this is actually something I learned this year. And I know this will sound very, maybe stupid, maybe like even obviously you have to do that. So using Posca pens on shiny surfaces without sanding it prior is a waste of Posca. Yes, I did that. I never understood why. Maybe I'm blonde. Maybe I haven't watched enough art channels to realize that maybe you have to sand the shiny surface a bit so the Posca pen. It's obvious, but I only learned it this year. Very random again. Sweet potatoes are my new favorite potatoes. I love them. I love them baked in oven. I love them fried, but not like bought, like already cut, but like freshly peeled sweet potato, and then I cut it myself and like I did this myself thing. I love it. I would eat, I think, sweet potatoes all day, every day. I love them. I never thought actually I would love sweet potatoes. Probably for Americans it's obvious, like sweet potatoes. But here it's not a popular thing. We love the basic potato more than any other potato. Bucks help with better attention span and creativity. I think I have aphantasia, but I actually can kind of vividly imagine things when my eyes are open. When I close them, I can't imagine a thing. But while I read books, I actually somehow can manage and learn to imagine things more and create pictures in my head that I haven't really created before. And also my attention span is longer. Maybe because I also don't really look at my TikTok feed that much anymore, only when I actually need something from it. But yeah, now I can actually focus on a book for an hour without using my phone. This should be a normal thing, but here I am being proud that I don't use my phone for an hour. Last but not least, consumption of social media can make you more numb than bare hands in a snow fight. I guess this is my hot take again. We have normalized so many things that shouldn't be normalized on children. Like, we look at something horrible happening to a person and we are just like, oh, okay. It's like we scroll past like nothing ever happened. I've noticed it in myself that sometimes when I sit way too much on social media, even the war or anything horrible happening around the world just seems to me like another casual thing. Like, I don't think that literally, but it's a subconscious thing. Too many things are being normalized, but less good things are being normalized. More like these harmful, not so great things. Or those are positive things, but normalized with a great deal of a spin that ends up being toxic to the person, like, you know, like toxic positivity. You should be positive, but you shouldn't be overly positive. Yeah, these were my few lessons. Take what you will from this. Thank you for watching. If you feel like liking this video, you can like it, but no pressure. But thank you, and bye!